Yo,
Hey, hello, hello.
how you doing, buddy?
I am great. How are you?
Fabulous. Whoa, there he is.
There he is. I'm also outside, and this is so weird. It's June in North Carolina, and I'm wearing a jacket outside because it's that cool.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy weather here.
Well, I hear you. I was at the dog park today, and it was so cold I was shivering. And by this afternoon, it'll probably be in the U.S. 60, 65.
Right.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
enjoy it.
It's interesting. Last week I was sweating in the minibus I'm driving, and this week I'm having to wear a jacket just so I can stay cool because the bus doesn't have air conditioning or heat in it. So it's like, can I get a
Damn.
middle ground in here?
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been fun though. I love riding the waves like that.
I would find predictability boring.
Exactly. I don't even look at the weather anymore. I don't look at the weather forecast. It's like, eh.
Yeah, my car tells me what's going on. So where would you like to explore, play, chat today?
Oh man. Yeah, I've been reading the one lecture, the Battle of Babylon or whatever, the Babylon one. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but really exploring how what's projecting outside of me is me, and the wars or everything that's taking place is me. I've been really exploring that, and um, I posted in our group today about how I was just watching people,
Yes.
and just
Oh,
about
that.
every person I saw was looking down. Like, holy shit, man, that's me right there. I mean, I'm looking down. Even though I do my exercises while I'm looking up and looking around, I've noticed that probably 90% of the time I'm looking down.
And
And
yet you're looking forward enough that you notice they're looking down.
right. So
I
I
I,
think
I love
yeah.
I love that I've never had to go to war.
Mm,
As much war that has been in my beingness since I've been born. I had a lot of war in me in my early 20s, which obviously got me in a little war at Camp Hill. I had some war in me when I was younger, which caused me to get higher car insurance because I had a Willie instead of a other thing. And now I'm just aware that yeah, there's wars out there, and I can imagine lovingly, but odds are I'm probably going to imagine up a yummy lunch and contribute to less war in the lives of the people who I buy my lunch from today.
right.
Like I'm abundant enough that I can order lunch out and if I just give it to a shopkeeper.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Working with the homeless too, and some of them are so wrapped up in that war, that victimhood, and it's really taken something for me to recognize, hey, that's actually where I used to be, and
It's
where I
like your
used to
cousin.
do I.
It's more like a cousin.
Yeah, exactly. Like I used to dwell in that same spot, and that's why I love I remember wins because somebody can come up and say something like, "Yeah, I remember when I was doing that."
And it's an honest res geste statement of them remembering, fuck man, I,
Exactly.
I remember when I couldn't break $7 an hour or so.
I
You
remember
want
when
to
I
hear it?
had $7 in my pocket, more
Yeah,
like
yeah,
seven
yeah.
cents. Yeah.
So when I got hired by the Department of Corrections, you'll love this. So I'd been making about $7 an hour as a cop. And when I interviewed for the DOC, they were paying like 11 and a quarter, something like that. Well, by the time they hired me, they said, hey, we renegotiated everything with the union. Rookies get 7.75. And I was like, fuck man, I'm still living at $7 an hour, right?
Right.
Yeah, I
Oh
got
my
my head
God.
beat in for 7.75 an hour. I was a
Oh,
hostage for 12 hours. That's $100.
yep,
Yeah. Sounds like an even trade.
it does, right? Oh,
Oh my God! You couldn't get me to take a piss for $7. Yeah.
no. Oh, that is great. Yeah. You know what's so funny? The part-time job I have right now, I have absolutely no idea how much I make an hour on it.
Wow.
I have never asked them how much are you going to pay me. They just called me up out of the blue one day and said, "We have this open position. Would you be willing to take it?" And I said, "Yes, definitely." But I've never really like gone through my hours. Like, okay, here's how many hours I worked, and this is how many. I've never done that, and I don't even know how much I make an hour there. And it really is because I'm not trading time for money there. I'm really
Right.
not. This is something I love, something I enjoy, something I would do free without pay because I just love
Yes.
it that much. And I get paid for
Yeah.
it.
How sweet.
Yeah. So that was actually something that came out of the yes method when if you remember the call,
Oh, yeah.
I was saying my supervisor was actually leaving at the time, and I'm like, well, now do I want to stay? Do I want to leave? What's going on? And I just said, you know what? The place I was at, it just wasn't working. Wasn't what I wanted. I knew what I wanted, and within 6 months, I had it.
Never
So,
settle, always soar.
right.
Nice.
So, yeah, it was really interesting the way that worked out. And I had mosquitoes.
You can have them. Ours actually bite through clothing here or sting through clothing.
Yes, these here do also.
Southern
I mean,
mosquito.
it's they are. We've had a lot of rain lately, and they are just so plentiful now. And in the world of science and statistics, apparently mosquitoes love O positive blood, and I just happen to be O positive. So if you're ever outside or near mosquitoes, and I'm with you, you don't get bit, I do.
All right, so I gotta hang with you.
Exactly.
Nice.
So they're going to find me.
I wonder if you imagined up something different about that for fun. I love doing goofy experiments, as you know.
Yes, I know. And I've actually been wondering about that. Like, what can I dream up about that one? What kind of crazy stuff could I haven't quite, and I guess I just don't have that desire right now because I've been doing other things, but I still sometimes wonder, what if I just dreamed up something different?
I like that you bring that up because if it's not an actual desire to me, I don't invest any time in it. Like I
Uh-huh.
will ponder it, like you just said. But I've had people say, "Why don't you imagine up this or imagine up that?" And it's like I'm gonna be honest, I really don't care. I mean, I might be interested in it, but I don't have a desire there enough to enter
Exactly.
into that state. You know?
Yep. Exactly. It's like my flashlight's over here right now. You know, I might move it over here after a while, but for now
Yep,
it's over
yep.
here. Yeah. You'll love this too. Um, One of the things I'm doing with this part-time job that I have is I'm taking people who are considered medically fragile, and we have them in a hotel, and I'm taking them from the hotel to their doctor's appointments or whatever medical appointments they have. So one of the things I started playing with is someone else making my schedule, knowing that it's me making my schedule through them, right?
Right.
And I've really been playing with that. So now that I have this job where I'm taking these people, I'm not making this schedule. You know, they're calling in, making their appointments, and then I'm getting an email saying, here's when their appointments are, and I got to schedule around all that. Not to mention
Right.
sometimes it changes in the middle of the day. So the guy that I'm working for, he sends me a text, and he says, well, here's tomorrow's. We got 3 more added, and I don't know if you can do this or blah, 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 blah. And I got to looking at it, and I said, yeah, here's how I can do it. He says, I don't know if you really think all of this is going to fall into place or if it actually just naturally falls into place. I said, both.
Yes.
So, yeah, and it does. I mean, it's been naturally followed into place. I've been having so much fun with it. And Emma says hi.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she's playing with her iPad right now, getting ready to go to bed here in a few minutes, but she says hello.
Wow.
Yeah.
You guys did Manifesting Mastery together, right?
Yeah, we started the first time, I think we got to lesson 30 something, and then she just said, eh. Then we
Cool.
started again, and I think we got through the third week on the second time, and she said, eh.
All right.
But, it's like I said, I'm imagining that she's already got this,
Yeah.
and so she's got it, right? I mean, one of the really cool things, and I keep telling her this, is she loves unicorns. And when she was first born, when she started started getting into unicorns actually when she was about 3 years old, we could hardly find anything around with unicorns. And she keeps saying, I want a unicorn. I want a unicorn. And now everywhere we go, there is a unicorn. I keep telling her, this is you. This is how you created this. And I think she's really getting that too.
It's funny when you portray her doing that. You actually, I can tell you're you're experiencing a unicorn. So the words are
Yes.
one thing, but the
Right.
experience that your eyes are showing me is like the actual experience of the unicorn.
Yes.
Like visually,
Yeah.
you're walking on it within hands range. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the other thing I like too, is learning that it's my experience that's actually creating. I know Neville says imagination. I like to say experience. I love playing with words. It's like my experience is what's really creating all of this.
Yes.
And so I'm experiencing something, and bam, there it is.
I find you probably notice in a lot of my writing too. Those puppies are up on the hill having fun. There they go. Yeah, I always say imaginal experience leads physical experience.
Yes.
It just simplifies the hell out of it versus visualize, hear. I mean, yeah, I still talk about all that stuff, but it's all, yeah. Hey, Mark, what are you experiencing today?
Right.
There you go. That's all you need to know.
Mm-hmm. But, that's how I start out a lot of conversations now. Hey, how's your experience today?
Oh, nice.
And it just opens up a whole different conversation than I've ever had before. I mean, I just love that. Just walk up and, hey, how you doing? How's your experience today? What's your experience of the day?
So what's it like being an angel?
Oh man. When I first got that was such a hard pill for me to swallow. Like, no, no, no. I still want to grasp for something outside of myself. Holy cow. And then I'm somewhere in the middle of manifesting mastery that I'm like, wait a minute. I think it was during the reading the Pearl of Great Price. I'm like, wait a minute. This really is me.
Yep.
And I would say about 2 to 3 weeks after that, there was like periods of me just felt like I was just on the edge of death. Then all of a sudden it was like, wow, okay, that was that. But whatever that was is gone. So now, really, it's not just freeing. It's just fun. That's only, it's just fun. And I'm in a men's group too, and we meet weekly now. And one of the things I've been dealing with in a men's group, and I've been talking to them about, is like, I have the frustrations, and sometimes I have the sadness and all these other emotions, and yet I'm having fun at the same time.
Yes.
It's like my body right now doesn't know how to deal with that. It's like intellectually I'm okay, spiritually I'm great, but my physical body does not know how to handle that right now. And so I'm feeling all these little sensations in my body going, oh man, okay, and then it just relaxes. And then something else happens. My body goes, wait a minute, no, nope, nope. And then it just relaxes. So,
It
yeah,
all shows up at once.
it does. It really does.
I get a kick out of the folks that say you can only experience one. So is it going to be positive or negative? It's like, fuck, man. I get the whole smorgasbord all
Yeah,
at once, all the time.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Which one we're going to let grow in the garden is another story, you know? A rose
Yep.
garden's always going to have some weeds, but, you know, the whole garden is always there all the time.
Yep, exactly. And you're watering everything. If you water the rose, you're watering the weeds too.
Yep.
So you got to just pluck the weeds every now and then. Yeah, it's all at once. To me, it's like a kaleidoscope. And everything it hits is like, whoo, wow, this is really interesting. All these little colors and sounds and everything going on at one time. And then slowly make it into the picture that I want. Put all those together and okay, there's my desire. That's what I'm going to move to, and then move, and bam.
I love that you don't race to fill the silence.
Yeah.
I did another call with Angela last week, it was. And boy, we had lots of yummy silence show up. It's fascinating to me because the triple D that you're both in has probably been the most conversational one so far.
Mm.
And the one-on-one calls that I've done tend to have the silence there much more noticeably, even when we're talking.
Right.
What a hoot!
I was in a coaching program one time, and my coach was just very annoyed with my silence. She says, "Mark, you got something to say?" And I'm like, "Not really. Nope, not really." So why are you here? And like, that's a damn good question. Why am I here? uh, but I was always kind of labeled the silent kid anyway, and the quiet one. And I had that for a long time, mixed up with being shy, being low self-esteem, and all of that. But when I really got that I am the silence, all
Yep.
that shit just disappeared. And now I can walk into a crowded room and I can be silent and no problem.
And speak volumes while saying nothing.
Yes. Yeah, and my coach also said, well, your silence draws people to you. And now I'm thinking, great. That kind of leaves them with something to deal with now.
Nice.
I don't have to deal with it. They're dealing with it. And one of the things I just love the birds in the background.
I'm enjoying your background. I'm just asking, are you in a rocking chair or a swing? What is it?
A porch. I'm on the porch swing.
Porch swing, gorgeous.
Yeah.
I did see.
This was actually something my wife manifested. She's been wanting the porch swing for as long as she can remember. And I said, well, buy one. And she said, well, I don't have the money. And I said, don't do that. Just buy one. And the next thing you know, the money shows up and there's a porch swing
Boom.
in our yard. And of course, I had to put it together. I wasn't expecting that part. But yeah. And I think I use it more than she does.
Of course.
Yeah. A
So
dog
what do
barking in the
you?
neighborhood.
So what do you want to give the world? You got some things going on.
Mm. The first thing that came to mind that was peace, just that peace of mind, or that what is it, a peace that passes all understanding? Because I don't understand it. I really, really don't.
Having to understand is the opposite of peace. I need to understand. Well, no,
Oh
you
my!
don't. I need to understand. The peace
And I,
that
yes,
surpasses
I,
all understanding.
and I've lived there for so long. It's like I gotta understand this. I'm a figure outer. I mean, I actually do enjoy figure out. You give me a jigsaw puzzle. One of jigsaw puzzles are my favorite things to do. So figure out or analyze it, figure it out. And when something comes up I don't understand, my brain used to go. And I'm just like, okay, so I don't understand it, but now I can experience it,
Yes.
be with it, have fun with it. I mean, get down to it. I don't even understand how I can walk,
Oh my God, no.
but I walk and I have the experience of walking. So yeah, that piece of that piece that passes understanding is giving the world that let people realize that hey, I'm just here to experience.
Hmm. I notice the more actively I experience versus passively experience, obviously, the more peace there is.
Hmm. Yeah.
I I get the myth of you can't imagine how many emails I get from people that want to hit the lottery and sit on the beach and drink martinis all day or margaritas, whatever the beach drink is. And it's like, no, you don't. That's not the peace that surpasses all understanding. That's the peace of getting away from everyone. The peace that surpasses all understanding is you carry it with you. You express it.
Right.
Doesn't matter what the hell you're doing. The beach is fine, but
Right. If you're that blissed out all the time, then how bored you're going to get.
yeah, I think that's why we're here personally. Blissed out
Right.
all the time, absolute boredom versus, oh my God, at the whole buffet's here right now. Let's make some
Yeah.
waves.
Exactly. That's one of the things I love about working with the homeless. Very unpredictable. Um, most of them have some sort of mental disorder or whatever, so you never know what they're going to say, what they're going to do, and just being around that unpredictability and yet still at peace inside the unpredictability. And that's not just with homeless, that's pretty much anywhere right now, especially some of the crazy stuff that's happening around, especially in the US right now. But, it's just that peace inside the unpredictability.
Yep.
I have people say, well, you need to bring predictability to the unpredictable. Fuck that. That's no fun. I know what the end result's already going to be, but I don't know what's going to happen between now and that end result.
And there's the fun right there.
Bingo.
At the end of the roller coaster ride, you're going to walk out through the exit gate and call it a day.
Exactly.
But you really want to experience the roller coaster ride.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
And I want to go through with my eyes wide open on this one. Hey, throw my hands up. Woo! There was a park, Carowinds in Charlotte, and they had a roller coaster called Thunder Road, and it would start not Thunder Road. I'm sorry, White Lightning. White Lightning. It was just one single loop, so it would go forward, single loop, and come way up top, and then it would go back down and go back around the loop backwards, and then come down and stop. And the first time I went, I was like, hell no, I'm not doing that. And our The only time I've ever rode it was the last year they had it. And I was like, you know what? I am going to regret not riding that roller coaster. And I was right. If I had not have ridden that roller coaster, I would have regretted it. It was probably one of the best rides I've ever been on. Not because of the ride itself, because I was so excited to experience this ride.
Yeah, what you brought to it. Nice.
What I brought to it, exactly. And I made it a total effort to keep my eyes open the whole time. The main reason I didn't want to ride it is I don't like going backwards. I have a bit of vertigo. But it was the most fun. And when it started going, I mean, I'm way up here in the air. When it started coming down backwards, I was like, oh shit, here we go. There's no getting off this thing now. And there are so many times in life when I feel like that. It's like, oh shit, here I go. I can't get off this thing now. But I know at the end, like I said, at the end, I'm going to step off and walk away.
How much time do you spend on your swing?
Yeah, let's see. Right now, let's say I'm doing, well, I haven't spent any on it this week since it's been raining. This is the first time I've been on it this week. Mondays, Tuesdays, that's 4 hours, 5 hours, 8 hours. About 8 to 9 hours a week.
Nice. It suits you.
Yep. And I really love it too when I'm out here and watching the kids play, and then they get tired and they crawl up beside me and rest a little bit, and then they're gone. And playing again. Then I come back and sit down and snuggle for a little while longer. Then I try to rock it quicker than what I want them to rock it. Slow down just a minute.
So you know what the word ornery means?
Yes.
That's not a common word here, which fascinated me. It's like,
yeah.
God. I'm always fascinated with the qualities that people want to give life to in their life. And I love things like curiosity, orneriness, mischievous. Oh, God. So,
I love my mischievousness. I actually love my orneriness too. It's just so much fun. Yeah, I can imagine myself being like Clint Eastwood. I can't remember the name of the movie where he's the old guy and he's like, "You need to get off my lawn." He pulls a gun out on him. I can imagine me doing something like that.
one of my best friends in the States, that's his father. Through and through. When I saw the movie, it was like, oh my God, that's Jack.
Yep. My dad's very similar to that. My dad will be 80 years old this year.
Wow.
And one of the calls that we had, I was actually at their house. And I said, okay, guys, I'll be back in a couple hours. I'm going to go do this call. And then when I finished the call and came back, and Dad's like, I know it's none of my business. I'm curious, what kind of call is this? What are you doing? And it actually kind of put me aside for a second because I said, how am I going to explain this to an 80-year-old man who has no clue what I'm doing? And I have no clue how to explain this. And I'm sitting there going, I am so stuck in the house right now.
Nice.
Instead of just going to the end and having Dad get it. And I finally said, Dad, I really have no idea how to explain to you what this is. But here's what it is. This is called Dream Driven Day. And it really is about how to create your life, your life that you dream about, and bring it to reality. And how you actually bring life to reality. He just shook his head and said, okay.
Nice.
I was like, yep, that's Dad. That's him. I don't know if he got it or not,
I'm
but
sure
that's
he did.
him. I'm sure he did. He,
You know, it's funny, when I started going down this route as a internet marketer / teacher of this stuff. So that all began back around 2002 this time. Yeah, I'd done some stuff before, but 2002 was the first time I actually started building systems and stuff. And my whole family, basically all they knew about me was I liked teaching martial arts. And so for, up until about 2009, maybe 2010, like right before I left the States, I didn't say anything about what I did. And then, finally social media started catching up, and it's like, well, what do you actually do? And it's like, well, Dad, I just help people notice and think differently. And he goes, oh yeah, you'll be good at that, right?
yeah.
But like all those years, I didn't bother telling them, because they'll all say, how are your karate lessons going? Well, I hadn't done karate in 20 years, but yeah, so much less, like a small portion of my income was actually martial arts related.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, it's great, guys. Really good. Thanks for asking, Dad. Until like, I just help people notice and think differently, Dad. Oh, okay. That's good. You'd be good at helping people with that.
Yeah, I love that, because this shows how sometimes, especially for myself, how I imagine other people are going to react, instead of just letting them naturally react the way they would naturally react.
Yes.
And just like my dad, when I was there, like, I have no clue exactly what he would say when I said what I said, but when he naturally acted the way he would naturally react.
Have you been in any of the trainings where I encourage people to give away money?
No, I don't think
All right. So the challenge is this. Mark, what I want you to do today is take $20 out of the bank, $5 bills, $1 bills, whatever your choice is. And by the end of the day, give away all of it.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. You can only give one bill, whether it's a 5 or a 1, to each person. And you can't lie. So you can't walk up and say, hey, I think you dropped this, or anything like that. You have to give them, $1 or $5, and you have to be honest with them. And talk about fun, because one of the solutions to that is to say, I'm in a course with a crazy man.
Right.
And he wants me to give away money just to see what shows up. And God, talk about the fun conversations that show up after that. Whether or not they take the money. Oh my God, honesty.
Oh.
Versus, hey, I think you dropped this, or that's no fun. That's cheesy. That's a lie. So I'm always noticing, how can I be honest with any kind of explanation or exercise? Because if I tried to explain to my dad, Neville Goddard, I don't know if it would go over all that well. Definitely wouldn't with my mom.
Right.
But it's like, I tell people notice and think differently. It's like, oh, you've always noticed and thought differently. Yeah, I have. I'm pretty good at it.
Yeah.
People pay you for that? Yeah, they do.
Yep.
Oh, God, the hot tub's gorgeous. So I do have a favor for you. I need you to keep track of the time, because I can't.
Gotcha. I mean, what time it is? We're at 37 after.
We're doing excellent.
We are.
Today's lunch is going to be a Slovaki. I told Victoria I have no interest in cooking. Let's sort her out. So we'll probably get something from that joint. I've already imagined the yum, and Now I get to explore what the roller coaster to the yum's going to be.
Yes. Did the same thing as I was sent my wife a text like, I really don't feel like cooking today. So ideas for dinner. She says, well, I'm going to go to get a haircut soon so I can pick something up or we can order out. And I said, let's talk about that when we get home. So I got home and she goes, I'm just backing into the driveway. And I'm thinking, you know, I'd really love to have some curry chicken.
Yum.
And I walked in and she goes, what about Chinese tonight? And I said, you got it. And of course they have curry chicken at the Chinese place. So
Nice.
yes, I basically have my curry chicken twice.
Oh. God, I just answered an email about that. This lovely girl in Manifesting Mastery, Courtney, asks about if we imagine something and fully experience it, then the question was basically like, do we really need to get it, or what's the point of getting it? I always get a couple variations on that. And my reply is, I get to experience the yum, and I get to experience the pizza. It's like I can actually chew it and enjoy it. I experience the yum of it.
Yes.
And sometimes the yum or the physical part of it doesn't matter. But oh my God, especially with food, it seems like we came here to give up, to give into a really nice buffet.
Yes. No, I do love my food. That was actually probably the turning point for me. I think it was the first time I read your call about the coffee game. And yeah, it was the first time I read about the coffee game. And I was thinking, okay, great. I love coffee, so that'd be a great game to play. And I was in a meeting. I'm sitting in a meeting, and I'm thinking, man, I really love have some apple pie right about now. And I thought, wait, I'll just do the coffee game and use apple pie. And it wasn't an hour later, I have a big fresh slice of apple pie right in front of me. I'm like, holy shit. So yeah, that was really the turning point for that was not long after I joined the group in 2017. Yeah.
Wow. I noticed in your tonality you actually experienced apple pie.
Oh.
It's not just apple pie, it's apple pie.
It's apple pie.
2017. Wow. I'm always touched in how people show up and how we get to know them, the different courses and stuff on the calls. And it's like, Victoria and I were just talking this morning about, whenever y'all flying into the country here, whenever they lift the ban in a year or two, whatever. And it's like, just let us know. We'll make sure you get going in the right direction. We got to hook up, all that good stuff. But it's like, yeah, it's interesting because a part of me, when I started the project this way, I imagined being able to travel the world and never having to stay in a hotel. And like just having friends and family all over the world. It's like, you mentioned 2017. I can remember some of your early posts and play and so on and so forth. And it's just fascinating to me to just, like, I really do mean it when I put in the podcast and stuff. It's like we're like y'all become friends and family. It's like, yeah. I mean, like if you flew over here and I needed someone to watch the dogs for a day or two, I'd say, Mark, watch the dogs. We'll be back.
Right.
I know you'll take care of them.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I want more of that in the world.
Yes. Community.
You got it.
Oh, that just reminds me too. This actually the organization I work with, our aim is creating community. It's not like there isn't a community. We are creating a community. We're expanding the community that's there. And so everything we do is community involved, which is fantastic. I mean, I've never seen an organization work the way they do. the way we do. I just disassociated myself. How about that?
Yeah.
um, and there's a great book. It's called Chasing the Scream. And this guy who had researched addiction and the war on drugs and everything. But at the end of the book, he says people think that the opposite of addiction is sobriety. He's so dead off. So the opposite of addiction is community and connection.
Yep, totally.
I went, man. And I'll take it a step further and it's thinking that the opposite of that is connection with yourself and connection with the God within me.
Yep.
Getting connected to that, like some of the addictions I've had, seem to fall away.
You know, that whole thing of in Manifesting Mastery, we've got that lesson, I think it's up in the 70s or something. All anxiety is separation anxiety.
Yes.
And if you feel separate, you know, then you're going to have anxiety. If you have anxiety, you're going to chase something seemingly separate to fix you. You need your fix so you don't feel separate.
Mm-hmm.
When you discover that you can't possibly be separate, real connection, real community, real.
Yeah. That was one of my biggest things too when I was growing up. Was like I feel separate from everything and everyone. I don't belong.
Yep.
Mm.
I just looked around. I thought everyone was nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what? I can't possibly be the only sane person on the planet, but it appears to be true. Yeah, I looked at religion. I looked at the way people worked for a living, and it's like, you know, I don't think we came here to never see each other, and when we do see each other, to fight. And
Right.
we fight to go to church and play makeup, and just like it's madness, man. It's just.
Oh God. And then they go to work and punch a clock and sit there and complain about what you're doing for 8 to 12 hours, however long you're there, just to punch the clock and go home and complain about what you just did.
Yep.
There's so much no life in that at all. Not that I don't complain. Not that I don't complain, but it's from a different state. It's not a state of like, oh my God, this is like, well, shit, that just didn't work out at all. uh, that reminds me too. One of the issues I've been having a lot of fun with myself is the way people have been driving the past couple of weeks. It's like
Oh, yeah.
we came into phase two, and as soon as phase two happened, the opening up of stuff, like the traffic on the interstates and in town increased. And I literally have people. There's a guy who was in the left turn lane at a stoplight in the left turn lane and makes a right turn in front of me and everybody else. And I'm driving this bus going, oh shit, I can't stop this thing on a dime. Almost hit him. And I'm like, oh, okay. It's just little things like that. People cutting me off on the interstate, just like zooming. And I'm laughing well, I admit I got frustrated for a while. It was about 3 or 4 days. I got sucked into the frustration of it. And I was actually talking to my men's group Monday night about it. It's like, I'm really sucked into the frustration of this. And I don't know what to do to get out of this. And somebody said, well, you're just taking on the responsibility of that other driver. And I went, whoa, that makes a lot of sense. Like I'm not allowing that person to be that person and blessing that person for the role they're playing. And then recognizing, you know what, I got some shit going on too where I'm cutting things off.
So you're giving yourself a message.
Yes. And a lot of it is, I notice that I'm cutting off some of my old ways, cutting off the patterns of thinking that I've had from 40 some years. Yeah. And it's just all
Cool.
coming out right there. And like, ooh, that's what that is. That's what that is.
So this person does a left-hand turn. I'm sorry, right-hand turn from the left-hand leg lane could have killed you all.
Right.
But didn't. And I always notice whenever we're killing off and cutting off parts that no longer serve us, it feels like it could kill us, but it doesn't. It's like, fuck, man. I remember giving up being a cop. I remember giving up being all sorts of things. Like, all right, I get to give that up to move on to the next phase, you know, the next exploration, the next role I choose to play.
Right.
And it's going to feel like some motherfucker's going to take me out. Hoo-ha. When it does. Some days it won't.
Oh, man. If it's not happening out here, then it's happening in my dreams. You know, it's like, oh. Wake up about 4 o'clock in the morning and from a dream where I just felt like I died. Like, well, now. I'm shifted into another state. Okay, let's roll with this for a while.
I've got an interview coming out with another one I just did with Brian Scott. I think you'll be interested in it. So I'll keep you in mind when he pokes that out, or if you see it, make sure you give it a listen.
Will do.
So I think you said you wanted to let this be public.
Yes.
Cool. Do you want to promote you at all, or anything that you're into or that you're doing, or share with the world, what you got going on, or?
Well, I can, certainly. I know I put my hypnosis practice on hold for the past about 2 months. I'm getting back into that now. I just did a Zoom session. Actually, it was over the phone session the other day with someone.
Nice.
So I'm doing it was a freebie, and I do certain freebies, certain things I do for free for that, like the ones that last 5 to 10 minutes.
It'll cost you 20 minutes to bill them.
Bam. Exactly. Exactly. And it's just it's mainly in pain reductions. Pain reduction is one of my specialties, and it's just something it's my giveaway. Anything else? Yeah, my prices are on my website.
What's your website?
It's on my Facebook page. It's Dockery's Hypnosis on Facebook. That's all I have right now. Yeah.
Want to spell it? Just in case some people
Dockery. Yeah. Dockery, like Dockery's Hypnosis.
Cool. Yeah. For fun, you could buy dockeryshypnosis.com and point that to there.
Yes.
I don't know if you know that. Pretty easy. Cost you $10-12 a year, US.
I had one time. I don't know what I got it through. I couldn't remember what I got the website through. I couldn't find any of the emails on it, and then I know it expired. Like, where the hell where did I buy the thing anyway? I was like, oh my God. So I just didn't even bother going back to it. But that is on my radar now to get that back up and going, get my hypnosis practice back up and going. You know what's so funny is actually when I put it on hold, I just bought a program and haven't even gone through that program yet. It was like, I just put that aside too. It's like a $150 program. You may know Sean Michael Andrews.
I know the name.
Yeah. I did a training with him not long ago, last year actually, and then he put out an in-person training, and then he put out an online training that I bought that I hadn't even done yet. Like, shit, it's time to go to that one now. Let's not waste the money now. Let's put the time into it. Let's invest in that. So yeah, doing the hypnosis thing. I'm also, what is it? With the City with Dwellings in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. That's the little part-time gig I have, and we are an organization that helps people who are in a crisis situation, such as they're facing homelessness or may actually be homeless. We're not a shelter, but we can place people into or help people get people placed into a shelter. And in the wintertime, from December 1st through March 31st, we do have what's called an overflow shelter, which will take people who are not allowed into our permanent shelters or year-round shelters. And there are churches in the community that open up their fellowship halls, and we actually put them in there to sleep for the night, so they won't
Nice.
freeze out there. Right now, the program we have going on and that I'm driving with is the city has taken the ones that are considered medically fragile, therefore could easily get the loogie,
Right.
and we put them in a hotel so they can be isolated and less chance of getting the loogie. So I've been driving them to their doctor's appointments, and that's been so much fun.
And what an opportunity to be the blessing.
Yeah, and that little one-on-one with them, just that one-on-one, even if for the 10 to 15 minutes that I'm with them, is so much fun. One of my favorite men. In fact, I haven't had a chance to drive him yet. I'm actually driving him tomorrow, and I've talked about him in Dream Driven Day. He's the one that always greets me, "Fuck you, Mark."
Nice.
Always greets me like that. And it's a different "fuck you, Mark" than what it used to be now, and I love it. But now he doesn't say that. He's been in this hotel for almost 3 months. So he hasn't had a drink in almost 3 months. I barely recognize the man when I see him.
Yeah, nice.
And this afternoon, I was stuck my head in, and he says, "What time are you picking me up tomorrow?" And I told him, and I looked at him and I said, "Dude, I just want to say that what you have, the way you have changed in the past couple of months, I barely recognize you right now, and I'm so proud of the way you're actually working this program." He kind of hung his head for a second. And I said, "Whatever you do, do not apologize to me for what you have done." He goes, "How the hell do you know what I was thinking?" I said, "Because whatever you drop your head like that, you're going to apologize for something." I said, "Don't do that. I'm not here for the apology." I said, if you truly want to apologize to me for the things you've done, keep going the route you're going. Stay true to the path you're on now. Stay true to the state that you're in right now. And let's rock this thing.
Boom.
Yeah. So just that little one-on-one like that. And I'm loving it. Yeah, so that's what I'm up to now. I mentioned too that I've just started writing a book.
Yep.
For many years, I've never considered myself as someone who would write a book, and I've read on how to write a book. I've looked at courses on how to write a book, and I realized and noticed that everything I've read and heard or listened to about how to write a book never actually say, just sit down and write.
Write the fucking book.
Yeah. Just write the fucking book. So the past few days, I just sat down and just started writing the fucking book. Not editing it, just typing out. Yeah, I might correct a spelling error or something like that every now and then because it's just what I do. But as far as what the wording is or anything like that, no, I'm just typing it out.
Do you have a working title?
No, I do not.
All right.
I do not have a title. I do have what the end is going to be, and I'm working towards that.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. That's the only thing I've taken from everything I've learned how to write a book. Learn the end, get the end, and then write to the end. So
Sounds
it's
like
been so
life.
much fun. Yes.
Feels like it's about that time, my friend.
Yes, it is. We did great. I think we got. Yeah. Yep. Right at it.
Are we really?
Like 2 to 3 minutes, something like that.
Not fair. So what are you doing for the rest of your evening?
It is almost 10 p.m. here, so I'll probably go in. I might watch something on TV and do some writing, or might go to bed. I'm not sure yet. I have to be up a little earlier in the morning than normal. But
I bow my forehead to you, and nobody gets me on the phone at 9 to 10. So appreciate you taking the time today.
Yes, certainly. And I appreciate this. It's great.
I love you, buddy.
Love you too, man.
Catch you in the groove.
All right, man. Later.
Ooh.